As you are aware, every September in our parish is Ministry Sign-Up Month, and we've come to the end of September, and I want to thank all of you who have signed up for ministries during this month. It's been noted. Thank you very, very much. But what I want to do today is, for those of you who haven't signed up, is talk about our ministries in the parish. You may remember that about 2 weeks ago now, just over 2 weeks ago now, our Men of Faith ministry, the guest speaker was the former ambassador to Bermuda. And he came in and he took a page from Father G's playbook and gave us 3 points to remember. He said that he had talked before presidents and Congress and world leaders, but the message he had for us that night here in our hall was the most important message he could ever talk about, and that was the gospel. And his 3 points were, number one, we serve a great God, and he's bigger than you know. Number two, he loves you more than you can conceive. And number three, he has a mission for you. He has a mission for you. There's something you're supposed to be about. And that's kind of what I'm about today, is helping us find those missions, those moments. If there is a scriptural tie-in, it's simply this, that we hear in the first reading day from Amos. He talks to those who are not acting on their faith, and he says, woe to the complacent in Zion, to those who have not taken their faith and incorporated it really into their life. And so as I go through our ministries, I am aware that there are probably some of you who have prayed and looked at things, or for whatever just decided, nope, I'm not doing a thing for the parish. I'll come on Sunday. That's great. Awesome. Thank you. But if that's you, please be aware, while you may not feel called to serve here, as a disciple of Christ, you are called to serve somewhere. God has a mission for you. And if you're not doing that somewhere in the world, you're missing a very, very important, essential part of being a disciple. So as I said to the Men of Faith that night, one of the things I'd like for you to do is to hear what I'm saying today about the ministries here in the parish. And maybe off of that, you realize, oh, I could do something out in the world. Here's a mission that I could accomplish. Also, if you are one of our parishioners, I invite you to listen to what I have to say just so you can learn more about the parish and what's going on. If you're a guest or visitor, welcome to you. You're about to learn more about our parish than you probably know about your own parish. So what a great day to be here. But you will find in the pews these sign-up cards in the pew pockets. I invite you to pick them up and pass them around. There's sort of an outline of my homily if you want to call it that today. If they're not there, on the back of the worship aid, there's a QR code you can scan, or borrow someone's card. There's a QR code on the back of the card, and you can see all the various ministries we have there, and there's lots of information online about those. The reason why I'm taking a Sunday to do this is this simple, and that is we are profoundly blessed in this community. Every year, every week virtually, we continue to grow with new families and individuals joining our parish. And that means simply that we need more ministers for our ministries. And I've shared with you before that my experience has always been that in every community are all the gifts needed to meet the needs of that community. They just need to be called forth. And that's what we're doing today. So a few pointers. First of all, if you have signed up or are signing up for ministry, the sort of time frame for the ministry will be from January 1 through December 31, 2026. The idea is we sign up in September, we get everything organized in October, we train in November, you're ready to go in the new year. And training will be provided for all the ministries that require training. If during the year you've signed up for ministry, you decide this ministry is not working for me, no harm, no foul. We don't want you to be in a ministry where you're unhappy, where you don't enjoy it, where it's miserable for you. That's not what we want at all. You can certainly step away from that ministry, maybe try something else. On the other hand, if you're doing a ministry and we can tell is just not the ministry for you, we'll help you find another ministry instead of the one you've picked. But there are ministries for everybody. If you're currently in a ministry, please, as we've said before, sign up again for the new year. Thank you if you'd like to continue in that. And again, to all of you who have already signed up, thank you so much for that. So here we go, finding that mission, faith in action, however you want to look at it. As I said, there's more information on our website for each of these. But at the top of the form, simple biographical information so that we know who you are and where you are. We can get in touch with you for whatever it is you've signed up. Then we have our liturgical ministries. Top one there, funeral mass coordinator, which is a little bit of a challenge. In our parish, we have between 80 and 100 funerals a year. And most of them happen on weekdays in the morning, around 10 or 11 in the morning. And what we're looking for are folks who are able to come before the funeral and stay after the funeral to help set up everything for the funeral mass, to welcome the family, greet the guests, help put things away after the funeral mass. You're never assigned to a particular funeral. What will happen is when we have a funeral, you'll receive an email along with all the other funeral coordinators, and it will say, hey, here's a funeral, who can take it? And anyone who's available might say, yes, I'll be happy to come on that day and help you with that funeral mass. So there's flexibility in it as well. As I say, 80 to 100 a year. The more funeral mass coordinators we have, the better that is for all of us. Matter of fact, all these ministries, the more the merrier. The more hands there are on deck, the less work it is for each individual. Liturgy Planning Committee meets once a month, not during the summer, and they prepare us for the liturgical seasons, Advent, Christmas, Lent, Easter, Ordinary Time, help plan the liturgies, how we're going to celebrate it, what we're going to do. If you'd like to do that, Liturgy Planning Committee is for you. Liturgical environment is one of my top 3 this year. This is essentially the folks who come to decorate the church for the seasons. It includes caring for our live plants. If you're creative, if you like to decorate your home for the various seasons of the year, this is the place for you to minister, to help decorate our church for the seasons of the year. If you can sew, or even if you just want to be a worker bee, have someone tell you, we need this over there and that over there, we can use you for this. In the last year, it's been done by a very small group of people. Every now and then they've been backed up by like the Knights of Columbus or volunteers when we put out a call, because there's a lot to do, like all the Christmas trees need to go up. But we need folks on that committee throughout the year to continue developing the art environment for our church. Like I say, it's been just a few people, and we need more for that. Live stream volunteer. And we need volunteers to help do our live streaming like we're doing for Mass today, not only for the weekend Masses, but for our daily Masses and for funerals and weddings. As you know, we live stream daily Mass Monday through Friday at 12:10 from St. Elizabeth Seton. We also have more and more requests for people who would like us to live stream for them the funerals and the weddings we celebrate, so that family members or friends who are far away, even in other countries who can't attend, can still participate. And we only have a couple people who are trained on our equipment to do that. If that's something you're interested in, we would love to have you indicate that interest. Also, for funerals and weddings, just so you know, we do ask for a stipend for the live stream operator. So that's a little extra perk there for that. So we'd love to have you for that. Daily Mass sacristan. We have daily Mass here at St. Augustine, 8:30 in the morning, Monday through Saturday, and as I mentioned, 12:10 at Seton on Monday through Friday. The daily Mass sacristan comes in, opens the doors, turns on the lights, gets everything out for Mass, makes sure we got the ministers in place. Very, very important. We need daily Mass sacristans. Altar linen ministry. If there's enough people, you only have to do this 1 month or less each year, and that is you pick up, launder, and return all of the various linens we use during our celebration, the corporals, the purificators, all those sorts of things. I can remember, I really appreciate altar linen ministers. I remember at a parish I was in previously, there was one Sunday morning, went over to the church, and everything was out for Mass, and I looked, and there were no more linens, except for that one Mass. So I took the dirty linens, threw them in the laundry, and in between Masses, I was ironing and washing linen so I'd have enough linens for the next Mass just in time. So thank you, altar linen ministry people. We love you for taking care of that for us. Eucharistic adoration. We have regularly scheduled hours for Eucharistic adoration each and every week, and we want to make sure that during those hours, there's always someone present in prayer. Time-wise, it's very flexible. It's a lovely way to get some prayer in during the week. It's to spend some time with Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament, so Eucharistic adoration. Hispanic ministry is essentially 2 things. One, helping to plan and execute the Our Lady of Guadalupe celebration in December, which is coming up very quickly. We're also looking for Spanish-speaking teachers or catechists for grades 1 through 5. Hispanic ministry faith formation meets Monday evenings. So if you're fluent in Spanish and would like to help teach the children our faith, we could use you there. So Hispanic ministry. Wedding coordinators. Wedding coordinators have the joyful task of meeting with wedding couples on the wedding days, making sure the church is open, setting up for the weddings, greeting the guests, helping to make sure that the celebrations flow smoothly. And again, it's not an assigned ministry. What happens is the list comes out, hey, here's the upcoming weddings. Would anybody be available to be the wedding coordinators for these weddings? And the wedding coordinators have shared with me just how joyful it is to be with young couples as they prepare for that exciting day in their life. So wedding coordinators. Liturgy, the next category. Altar servers. 4th through 12th grade, the sign-up card says, but actually altar servers can be younger than 4th grade. If you're younger than 4th grade and might want to do that, then Deacon Gary will interview you to make sure that you're up to speed to make it happen. And actually, it does not top out at 12th grade. At several of our masses, we have adult altar servers. You've seen them at this mass. And it's even wonderful to have families serving at the mass. You've seen Michael Arioso, who was our second lector today, and his son Nicholas have acolyted together here at Mass. And that's a wonderful thing to see, families in ministry together. So altar servers, can always use more acolytes. Lectors, you know who they are and what they do. They're up here proclaiming the word of God. Extraordinary ministers of communion. Clearly, they help distribute the body and blood of Christ during Mass. And my brothers and sisters, we should never run short on Eucharistic ministers. I mean, that's the heart of our faith. The moment we come together, the Eucharist is the source and summit of all that we do. And it's always hard when we're getting close to Mass starting and we don't have enough ministers, like, we may not be able to share the chalice with everyone today or whatever. And you all know how important this is. There are many people who, that's the entire reason they come to church. They receive Jesus' sacrament and they hightail it out of the church because now they've got everything they wanted. We'll talk about that on some other day, very rude to Jesus. But the point being that we make sure we need to have people here to make sure that we have communion ministers for everybody. And next you see head extraordinary minister of communion. The head extraordinary minister of communion, they essentially, if you look at the credence table over here to my right, they make sure that all the chalices are out, all the patens are out, the bread is out, the wine is out, and that we have all the ministers we need for communion. So we can use those folks definitely. Ushers, wow. Cannot tell you how important ushers are. If art and environment was one of the areas that we really need help in, usher is a secondary we really need help in. Ushers do much more than just take up the collection. What ushers do is they find a family to help bring up the gifts, or individuals to help bring up the gifts of bread and wine, but they also help those who come to church who have physical challenges. They bring communion to people in the pews who are unable to come forward for communion. They'll maybe bring them their wheelchairs or their walkers at the end of Mass. A very important ministry that is highly underestimated. So we really do need ushers. At every single one of our Masses, we're very thin on ushers. And again, it's more than taking up the collection. And just a side note, if an usher ever asks you, would you be willing to bring up the gifts of bread and wine at Mass? Please say yes. Don't say no. There's really no reason to. Basically, you walk from back there to up here. It's not hard. And I know, I've heard people say, but Father, I'm not dressed right for that. Easy to fix, always dress well for Mass. And it's taken care of. No problem, excuse removed. And besides, God is worth putting on something nice, you know? So ushers, we need ushers. Greeters, very important. Our greeters are very important. They're huge in setting the tone for people as they arrive. When you're a greeter, you never know who's walking up, even if you see them every week. You don't know if they've had heartache in their life that week, if they've celebrated something joyful in their life. You don't know if someone's walking up who's a guest or visitor. You do not know if someone's coming back to the church for the first time in 20, 30, 40 years. And to have someone there to say, welcome, good to see you, glad you're here, is huge. You've heard me say it before, it's the reason why the side doors to the church are locked from the outside. Because I don't believe that anybody should enter into this building for Sunday Mass without someone saying, hello, welcome, we're glad you are here to them. If we had enough greeters, we'd open all the doors and have greeters at all the doors, but we don't. So we could use more greeters. Now, all these liturgies, ministries just talked about, are ministries that happen when you are here anyway, when you're going to be here anyway. So, if you're slightly inclined to help us out and you're going to be here anyway, please fill out this form and check those boxes. Music ministry. You hear them every week, our 10 o'clock adult choir. We also have a children's choir, grades 5 through 8 at the 4 o'clock, and a teen choir, grades 9 through 10 at the 6 o'clock, as well as our adult cantors who individually lead music at the 5 and the 8 and the noon. That involves rehearsal every week, about an hour's rehearsal each week, correct? All right, got that right? Yeah. So if you'd like to sing, we'd love to have you for that. So there's all our choirs going on, our music ministry. Next on the form, you find faith formation at the bottom of the front page and the top of the back page. Faith formation, OCIA and spread. OCIA is the Order of Christian Initiation for Adults, and you folks are familiar with them. That's the group that sits here, where after the homily we say, get out of the church, go away, and reflect more deeply upon the Word of God, right? This is the team that helps prepare individuals who are adults to receive baptism and or First Eucharist and or confirmation. We can always use team members for that. Let me add this to this as well. There are many of you who come forward and instead of receiving communion, receive a blessing, and that's great. Thank you for doing that. As I always say, it's cool to hang out with Catholics, but it's even more awesome to be one. So if you are an adult who would like to explore receiving baptism and or First Eucharist and or confirmation, check that box, OCIA. And when we call you, you can say, I don't want to be on the team, but I want to explore having a sacrament. And we'll be happy to help you with that as well. Spread, special religious education, is assisting individuals who may have Down syndrome or autism or cerebral palsy or in other similar situations. We help them grow spiritually. We prepare them for their sacraments and just constantly remind them that they're part of our community and how much Jesus loves them and cares for them. We can always use open hearts for that. On the back of the form, faith formation, we can always use more catechists and teachers to help our young children and our young people grow in the faith. You've heard me say it before, it's one of the most important things we do as a parish is pass our faith on to the next generation. Training, of course, is provided, although you probably know more than you think you know, you just don't know it. Anybody here know the Our Father? Anybody know the Our Father? Why is not every hand in this building up? Thank you. Guess what? You can teach second grade faith formation if you know the Our Father. You're ready to go. And of course, the staff is always ready there to help you. All you need is a heart open and willing to care. And as the catechists always tell us, what they get out of it is so much more than what they put into it. It happens to be the way of teaching, right? Don't you know? And so catechists. Then we have this last long category of service and outreach ministries. Ministry to the sick and homebound and hospitalized, that's visiting the sick and bringing Holy Communion to them, extraordinarily valuable. I'll tell you from my own experience. When my mom and then later my dad were in the hospital before they passed away, to have someone come in from the local church to bring them communion and pray with them brought them such joy and peace. I mean, there I am standing, their son, the priest, right? But in walks somebody from the local parish, and they just would light up. Someone bringing them communion. It let them know they were connected to the larger community and they weren't forgotten. We as a parish are responsible for that care at Stanford Valley Care Medical Center here. And we try to have a minister go every single day to visit all those who have self-identified as Catholic in the hospital and to bring the communion and to pray with them so that they know they're not forgotten. And if they want to receive anointing of the sick, to inform the office that one of the priests needs to go. Very important. Thank you for that. Next on the list is grief ministry. If you've ever lost a loved one, you know how hard that can be. And in grief ministry, we journey with those who've lost loved ones. We share their stories and their journey with them. It's very beautiful. If you've lost a loved one, then you're equipped to do this, to be a caring ear and a kind heart. Detention ministry at Santa Rita Jail. I know it can sound scary, but it's such an amazing good ministry. For those of you who remember Father Dan Danielson, when I was here as a baby priest so many years ago, I remember Dan Danielson saying to me, "You're going to go to the prison and hear confessions." And I was like, and I went walking up to the gates of Santa Rita, going oh dear, oh Jesus, please protect me. I don't know what's going on. I walked out 2 hours later flying high. The ministry there is so powerful because you're with men and women who really are faced with their brokenness and what they've done and need to hear the message of mercy and compassion and forgiveness and hope. It's a very powerful ministry. If you're even slightly thinking, maybe I'll try something outside my comfort zone, growth always happens outside our comfort zone. Give it a try. So that's detention ministry. St. Vincent de Paul, I've shared with you before that this is the ministry that responds to those who are in need, who come to the parish door, whether they need rent or food, looking for help with bills or transportation. You're always on a team of 2. Depending how many people are signed up for St. Vincent de Paul, you're usually signed for a week to respond to those needs. And of course, there is training involved in that. Baptism team couples. Deacon Joe Gorley leads our baptism team to help parents who are having their children baptized, their infants baptized. Always looking for couples to help him prepare young couples to have their children baptized and raise them in the faith. Gather and Share ministry. This is one of the ministries we've created. Their goal is to help our parish become more welcoming to people, helping people to grow close to one another. And they've grown to the point that they've got 2 different categories you see there. One is Sunday socials. This is the group that handles our donuts and coffee on the first Sundays of the month. If you'd like to help with that, they'd love that. And the other is events like the Holy Hoedown that we just enjoyed last week, hot chocolate and cookies on a Sunday in Advent. This year, they're hoping to also get some sort of hospitality going regularly at the 4 o'clock and 6 o'clock masses. So Gather and Share can always use some more manpower. The Giving Tree ministry. The need's not quite as great as it once was now that we shift to that gift card mode, but we still need people who are willing to organize that and help get those gift cards and get them delivered in time. So if you'd like to help, please do. Knights of Columbus, you know who they are and what they do. Junior Knights of Columbus is for boys ages 18 through 17. Not only do they help the Knights, but they also have events of their own, like Movie Night with the altar servers. It's a place for the young men of our community to build community and fellowship in a Catholic environment. Legion of Mary does weekly prayer for their parish and for the world. Prayer Shawl Ministry, looking for crafters of all ages and experience. Not only do they make prayer shawls, which all of those in OCA received, but they also make hats, scarves, washcloths for the homeless. They have their boutique, their July Christmas boutique, so we're looking for prayer shawl ministry participants. Respect Life Ministry does some wonderful things. They have a rosary on the second Sunday of every month. They've got a rosary coming up later in October. They do a diaper drive, 40 Days for Life, all those kinds of things. If you'd like to be involved in the Respect Life Ministry as a core member there. Small Christian communities. We have about 20 small Christian communities that meet with varying regularity. We need core team members to help keep things organized, to resource those groups, especially during the season of Lent, when many of you participate in small Christian communities, and that ministry grows during that season. Social justice and outreach. Again, you're familiar with much of their work. Fair Trade Goods Sale, Fair Trade Easter Candy Sale, Habitat for Humanity, the Rice Bowl program. They also make decisions regarding grants that we give to worthy organizations. If you have a heart for social justice, great place for you. Welcome Table Ministry. Every third Sunday when we have our name tag Sundays, we have a table outside to welcome new members to our community, answer questions, just be a friendly face to people. We'd love to have you there. It's another one of those, while you're here, why not do a ministry kind of ministry. Catholic Youth Organization. Always looking for new coaches to coach basketball. We're looking for high school students who can serve as referees, others for adult leadership roles like equipment management and whatnot. That's another ministry that's been growing, and we need more coaches for that, definitely. Men of faith, women in God's Spirit, the next 3 is essentially, if you want to be on their contact list when they're having events that are coming up or speakers like the former ambassador, just check there and we'll make sure that you're on their contact list. Respect Life Ministry is on here twice because Respect Life Ministry is that important. The Italian Catholic Federation. Good news for you. You do not need to be Italian to join the Italian Catholic Federation. You know Italy, everybody's family. Come on. And it's really good. You can join them. They do the Chicken and Polenta fundraiser dinner each year, among other things. Vacation Bible School. Vacation Bible School is one of our biggest and best events all year. It happens in June for a week, Monday through Friday. Hundreds of kids are in attendance. It's like a Bible camp. We always need crew leaders or station leaders, people to decorate. Transforming the hall is a huge task, but a very fun task every year. We need folks for that. Even if you're not creative, we've got the creative types who say, put this tree over here and stick that bird over there, or whatever it is. Next year is themed Rainforest Falls, Exploring the Nature of God. So we'll need to turn the hall into a rainforest. So you can see why we would need your help. So Vacation Bible School. Basically, that would be just during the months of like May in preparation and June for Vacation Bible School. And then you'll see a ministry here that you will never see again. 1 year only ad hoc, the St. Augustine 125th Anniversary Committee. Our parish was founded in 1901. Next year will be the 125th anniversary of our parish. And we want to celebrate that and celebrate that well. So if you're interested in helping plan celebrations and events to mark our 120th anniversary, we'd love to have you sign up there, check that box. This ministry will meet like in October and November as we start to put things together for 2026 and our anniversary. And then you've got that, do you have any other talents or skills you would like to share with the parish? I don't know, maybe you're a landscape architect, maybe you like data entry, you're a seamstress or a tailor, maybe you love adult education, maybe you like to clean, whatever you got going, whatever gifts or skills God's given you, put it here and we can probably make a ministry out of it or find a ministry for you to do. But again, to highlight the three most important ones this year, art and environment, ushers, and the 125th Anniversary Committee. If you don't know what to do, one of those three would be awesome to have you respond to. Thank you for that. I think it's in the letter of James, where James says that faith without works is dead, and that our faith is demonstrated by our works. And I'm grateful to all of you who are willing to do so here at the Catholic Community of Pleasanton. We are one of the parishes that other parishes look to see what it is to be part of a vibrant community, to see what's going on. And I'm very grateful to all of you who make this place just such a vibrant, wonderful, dynamic, and exhausting place for your pastor.